McGregor slap fighting Nate Diaz. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? And I have to ask you it that way because I find about this from Tommy. Tommy in the Bronx is a great source for me, anything Diaz, and I couldn't believe this, and I even highlighted and I sent it off to my partner, Ryan. So a whole good night's sleep goes in. I get into the studio today. I'm talking to Ryan. He's asking me, hey, tell me more about this Conor versus Nate in the slap fight business. And I said, you know what? I would assume they weren't being serious. Last night when I got this, and I forwarded it to you, I thought we were making some real waves, but by the time I had gotten up today, the dirt sheets, the manias, and the elbows, they weren't even covering it. So in the process of going through this, I do find an article on Conor McGregor, and it's a brand new statement. I believe that it was made last night, possibly at the same time or conjunction with challenging Nate to a slap-off. And it had to do with Conor going up to 185 pounds, of which he assured the world I absolutely will do that. Now, I sit down today. I don't have a whole lot to tell you guys. I want to speculate. I want to kind of tie these things together, but I also want to ask you, do you have some information? Am I missing a piece of this? In my final analysis, damn, Conor's good at goodness to talk about it. I mean, Conor's better than anybody at getting people to talk about him. Let's go to Conor versus Nate slapping each other. Now, I am on board and I am open to this. I am a promoter here in Oregon and I have already booked venues and am finding talent to come in to hold a competition for the slap contest. I will also share with you, aside from booking the venues, I haven't taken a step in that direction. I don't know if it's going to get over with you guys. So I'm getting all the pieces together. I'm going to make the big ask, right? I'm going to call it, before we hold, I'm going to make the big ask of Dana. Can I guarantee whoever wins, can I guarantee them a spot in your event? And I'm going to use this to promote. But in the meanwhile, I'm going to let Dana do the effort. I'm going to let Dana take the risk. I'm going to let Dana spend the money. Now, there's plenty of pariahs out there exactly like me. They just haven't come and admitted it to you. But that's a spot that we're in because I don't know where I sit with slap fighting, but I don't know where you guys sit. Do you like it? Does this have legs? If you do like it, what would make you like it more? If it doesn't have legs, how can we win you over, right? You have the best promoter telling the story and he sees something there. That alone has my attention. Truly. And when you want to talk about Nate versus Conor, when Nate is known for the slap. I mean, the slap is half his gimmick. You take slaps, you take 209, you take marijuana out of the Nate Diaz, you no longer can tell that part of the story. I mean, you're really taking a deficit. A slap. Nate is known for the slap. They've even renamed it the Stockton slap. Now you're going to put Nate in a slap contest with Conor? Even if these guys were trolling us and having fun, which it now appears that they were, and I would have been a real fool to bring this to you 24 hours ago, I'm in. Are you guys in? I mean, do you see where like that would work? I don't know yet, and here's what I need. Here's what I need, and here's what I want them to do to get me. Because I want to like it. I want to have more things that I'm interested in. And I tried that. I went down the hockey road and I tried baseball and I tried football. I mean, but I do have things that I would like to like. I like to have things that I follow more. I have my hobbies. The bad news for me, one of my biggest things is the Olympic Games that comes along every 4 years. So I don't get a whole lot of fun. I want the slapping to tell me where I'm wrong. I right now can't believe that you have a skill if you're letting the other person hit you. And I want to be wrong. I want you to tell me what I'm missing there. I cannot believe that you have a skill on the other side of it of doing the hitting unless I know the coaching, the training, and ultimately the sacrifice that you went to get that down so well. So if they can do that, if they can tell me where there's a skill in letting somebody hit you, or adversely, the offensive part where they can tell me a skill, why they had to eat right, how they had to sleep right to build up and generate that power when they're giving the hit, they're going to have me as a fan. Conor McGregor talked about, right, through my research and detective works on this very topic, I find that Conor says he's going to go up to 185 pounds. Now, we all have a reality that we have to face at some point. You guys saw, use a great example because you know it, when Brian Callen and Joe Rogan sat Brendan Schaub down. That was their friend, but they did it on camera, right? But we all have that moment. All of us. You guys too, whatever it was, whatever your journey, whatever your path was, somebody that confronted you with a reality as to why you should spend your time and efforts going in a different direction. One of the ones for me was a young man named Ross. Now, what I used to do when I was way ahead of the game at the time I started doing this, but I had created a number of times my own, and it's what they call digital art. Think of a poster. Think about when a fight poster drops and you see it and boom, that's the headline. So Ross would help me with the digital art, and Alan introduces and connects us. But it was even times where I would have him make the poster and I would release who my opponent was going to be. And you, the audience, would get it and assume it was put out by the UFC. Now, that's a very simple trick, and that's one that guys might do now, but they stole that from me, and this was the plan, and I was picking a fight. I wanted it with Daniel Cormier. So I had taken a bump. I had lost a match. Daniel was red hot, and he was coming up. Daniel's opponent falls through, which I believe was supposed to be Rashad Evans. Remove Rashad. Daniel doesn't have a dance partner. Boom. Chael's going to step in like the hero that he is and save the day. And Ross wouldn't make the poster. And he gave me like a thumbs up. Yeah, let me get right on that. And I came back 5-6 hours later and I checked and he hadn't made the poster. So I had to follow up with him. And then this happens again. I have to follow up again. And he finally levels with me. And he says, Chael, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to see you fight Daniel Cormier. And this was one of those moments where you got to stand back and go, oh, I thought they'd always want to see me. I thought this shtick was rinse and repeat. I thought I could come back. I thought I could do it again and again. I didn't think this day would ever come. I didn't think that it would ever run out. And he was letting me know, Daniel will hurt you. I don't want to see you get hurt, and I'm not going to participate. And I'm not going to make the poster. And the talk of going up to 185 pounds is very compelling if you have a man who's invincible. If you have an invincible person who is cleaning out their division and they're so good they're going to handicap it. Right? When Vince McMahon does a handicap match, he'll put two guys against one. He'll even tie with a rope a guy's hand behind his back. Call it a handicap match. If you're going to try to handicap it and spot the opponent and do an advantage, you've got to be invincible. If Khabib announced he was coming back and he was going to do it at 185, whoa, just the 185, before we even get to opponent, whoa, we got headline news. When you're in a situation, see, it's very tough. I had to have Ross tell me, and Brendan had to have Brian and Joe tell him, and everybody's got their own thing. Conor can't just go up to 185. We want to see you win a fight at your weight class. We're not sure you can beat these guys. Do you want to stop at 170? That's pretty interesting. Let's grab Masvidal. Things aren't going just swimmingly in his career. Let's get you guys together. I mean, there's a level of proof that you need, but if you have the arrogance to believe you can go up to 185 pounds and people are going to come along just because you're going to be ballooned up and somehow that's interesting, got to tell you about the time that I tried to fight Daniel Cormier. I got a real hard talk. And I'm thinking maybe it's time we sit down and we have that same talk.